I knew I had some unfinished business.
It was exactly what I needed to take the next step in my life.
I feel an ethical responsibility to tell people about Hoffman.
I learned to love myself. I hadn't been able to do that before, but I gained a total acceptance of who I was, which meant I became a better father and a better friend and much better at my job.
The Hoffman Process produces the place, the space, and the methodology for you to make permanent, lasting change for yourself. The place is a beautiful retreat setting. We are out in nature with great food, plenty of sleep every night. You're taken care of. Our main 45-acre campus, White Sulphur Springs, is located in the heart of the Napa Valley amid 10,000 acres of natural beauty. The space is a space of safety, of compassion, support, and empathy in which you can really work on yourself. And the methodology is the Hoffman Process, which is proven over and over again with many tens of thousands of people all around the world that they can make the changes that they want in themselves.
It's made me much, much more conscious of how my belief systems, attitudes, behaviors, and things like that have significant ripple effects in the lives of my children, in my family, in pretty much any kind of relationship or interaction.
My marriage with my wife is an entirely different marriage since the process. It's like being newlywed or something. You know, we have a really, really beautiful relationship.
I think I'm a much better father.
You know, I'm the parent I always wanted to be with my kids.
Had you asked me before what the relationship is with my parents, and if anybody else asked or observed it, they'd say, actually, it looked pretty healthy. It wasn't something that was in crisis or estranged or distant. I just knew there was more, and that more came after the process.
What people don't recognize, I think, is that you can have tremendous outer success and still be struggling inside.
We like to believe that those ambitions are choices that we make, when in fact, much of our ambitions are the result of unmet needs that we've had from when we were really young. And we think we're conscious of making these choices to be on this treadmill of success and achievement and money and all these kinds of things, when in fact, that may not be true at all. And so to begin to open your eyes to what are those deeper motivations that are so compelling is something that's useful to take a good look at.
My business life is completely different. It's funny. I've always been an entrepreneurial person, and I am the son of an entrepreneur. And I spent my life working for entrepreneurs, and I always was afraid to actually be an entrepreneur myself. And when I came out of the process, a year and a half later, I started my own company.
There was a part in the process where I really got hit head on with how limited my ability was to play. I was brought up to always be a pretty serious guy and be productive, and so I kind of lost that part of my life. It seemed like it pretty early. So what came out of the Hoffman process was this really ability to play, and even play while I'm working.
In Hoffman, you rehabilitate your capacity for play. In Hoffman, you find the joyful opportunity, really, within yourself to forget yourself, to just have fun.
Everyone talks about how important and impactful the process is, but I think people sometimes forget to talk about what a fun 8 days it really is. Yeah, it's a lot of work. Yeah, it's intense. Yeah, you have a lot of incredible breakthroughs emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, etc., etc. But I gotta tell you, it was one of the most fun 8 days of my life, and I made some of the best and deepest friendships of my life.
I think my joy before was due to outer circumstance. You know, I was sort of at the mercy of the world around me, whether it made me joyful or sad. It was all largely due to outside circumstance. whereas now I'm the source of it.
There is a lot more fun in my life since the process, and the process was, one word to describe it is fun, but I am enjoying things at a much higher level for the rest of my life.
One of the most amazing things in the Hoffman process was the experience of compassion for your mother, for your father, for anybody else in your family of origin, and particularly the sense of compassion for yourself. And that sense of compassion for myself, what it did, I realized, how it's grown over 20 years, is that I don't judge myself so harshly anymore. And because of that, I'm free of a lot of that I, me, mine, self-referential behavior, and much more free to express the compassion of my deeper spiritual self. It's just a normal part of life.
It's not about religion, and it's not about dogma, and it's not about the individual agreeing to a certain pathway for success. It's really about tapping in to your own self.
When things get difficult, whether in my personal life or my professional life, that sense of spirituality for me has been something higher that I can go to, something to kind of carry me through things when I'm charting unknown waters. You know, when I'm in a place that's foreign to me or uncertain or really challenging.
It's been one of the most exciting pieces that I took away from the Hoffman process is this connection to my own spirituality, connection to this sense of something greater than myself, and it's been a really exciting exploration for me so far, and something that is just continuing to grow for me.
Taking the Hoffman process is a whole lot different than reading a book on personal development or spirituality or what have you. I don't know that you can really experience the kind of transformation that you get in the process unless you live it. Unless you live it all day long for 8 days. I went to the process to work on certain things in my life, get unstuck where I was professionally and personally, and I ended up getting an enormous spiritual insight into myself. I made incredible progress in relationships with my parents, with my children, with my family, and with my place in this world. It was just a massive transformation on how I look at and approach everything.
Interestingly, one of the greatest pieces of value that I think I got out of doing the process was the shift in me that said, yes, I can. I'm important enough to do it. I have the tools and resources to structure my life such that I can be out of contact for 7 days. And the motivation is about making this kind of an investment in myself.
A lot of people want to change a lot of the same things. And a lot of people just want an easy solution. They want that pill to take and to fix things, but really it takes work, it takes time. You have to confront things. You have to dive deep into yourself and into your life to make change. And the process has a way of really beautifully navigating that path.
Everyone should take the process. I mean, everyone should take the process. Having your life in disarray is probably more reason to do it, but you don't need to be in a crisis to do it.
Despite being a therapist and going through therapy one-on-one, off and on for years, I just really didn't love myself. I would get little snippets here and there, but I just didn't. And leaving that process, I absolutely fell in love with myself. And I left there thinking, I never need to be afraid of being alone again, ever, because I have me.
Just a few years ago, a peer-reviewed study was published. It was research that was done at the University of California with a fairly large group, 100 Hoffman graduates and 100 controls. And after you do a week where you go away, you invest your time and money, you're always going to feel better. But what was great about this study is it looked to see how are people feeling a year later. What was the residual effect? And here's what was found, that directly after the study, as one would hope, people felt a great increase in well-being, a decrease in negative affect or feelings, and a tremendous amount of increase in compassion. However, here's the best part. A year later, those positive trends continued. They didn't diminish or decay over time. They actually grew over time.
After coming through the process and settling into life after the process, it was the first time in those 28 years that I felt a real sense of peace and calm and presence. And that feeling hasn't faded since I did the process almost 2 years ago.
The effects of the process continue to blossom. It's almost as though the seeds were planted at the process, and now I'm really reaping the benefits and the flowers are blooming in my life. And I imagine that it will keep coming.